Trying to grow some wings for you guys. Hello readers! So in one of my videos last year, I mentioned that I was going to attempt unhauling, and there was a lot of hesitation there because I'm sure, as some of you will agree, books is not something that I feel comfortable unhauling. They are something that I consider myself a collector of, and books and games are just really hard. And when I say games, I mean video games, but it's just really hard for me to just kind of be like, oh, I don't use this anymore, so let me get rid of it, because they do spark joy for me. This was something I had mentioned doing before even realizing that KonMari was coming out with a TV show on Netflix, but it has since blown up. There has been a lot of YouTubers actually going through the full process of culling their library, and that's totally cool. Whatever makes you happy. I'm not at that point where I feel like I can go through hundreds of my books and get rid of hundreds of books. It's just, that's not going to happen right now where I am mentally, and it's just no. But I did want to stick my toe in the water. I wanted to try. I wanted to show myself what it would feel like if I did let go of some books. Because other booktubers get rid of such large amounts of books, it totally makes sense that they would drop them off somewhere, they would donate them, and they just don't have the time or the finances to, send them to viewers. Completely understandable. However, because I'm going to be taking such tiny baby steps, I am going to offer these up to you guys, and I'm going to try to give away at least one of my books each month for 2019. So if you like my content and you also like the idea of potentially winning a book, be sure to subscribe. One interesting thing to note, however, is that on Twitter I did a poll asking if you guys wanted me to give away books that I've read or books that I haven't read, or you don't really care either way, and the majority of people said they'd prefer they be books that I've read. I have 4 books next to me here, and they are books that I have not read, and so I will be making the time to read them before I give them away. Alright, so let's talk about what I have here. The first book is William Shakespeare's Star Wars, Verily a New Hope by Ian Doescher. Doescher. Now, I don't consider myself a huge Star Wars fan, but I did grow up on it. I have watched all the movies. I understand the story. And this is a series. When I first picked this up, I didn't realize it was going to be turned into a series, but then when I noticed it was going to be a series, I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to keep it. I'm going to collect the books. But I attempted to read this on 2 separate occasions, and conceptually, I think this is really cool, but for me, it was just difficult to read. I don't like Shakespeare, so... But I will give this one more shot before I give it away. The next book I have is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I bought this last year right before his newest book came out, and me giving this away has nothing to do with the story or losing interest because I still very much want to read this, and I remember kind of reading the first couple chapters and really enjoying it, but I didn't want the movie cover, and this was all that was available on Amazon. So later on I got the hardcover from a secondhand bookstore, and so now I have 2 copies of it, and I will happily give this away. Next is The Victoria in My Head by Janelle Milanes. And this book was recommended to me by Jocelyn from Yogi with a Book. I don't know too much in regards to what it's about, but I know there is Cuban representation in here, and I believe it revolves around music and a teenager and her overprotective Cuban parents. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I purchased this full price at Barnes & Noble, but I also purchased her second book in hardcover, and I wanted them to match. So I ended up getting the hardcover for cheaper on Book Outlet, and I don't need 2 copies of this book. So I will be giving this away. The last book is Sal and Gabby Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. This is an ARC, and the finished copy will be available March of this year. It is a Rick Riordan Presents story. And the back says, a brilliant sci-fi romp with Cuban influences. I'm going to prioritize reading this book this month so I can give it away before the final copy is available. So those are the 4 books that I'm parting with very soon. I did also want to leave you guys with some stats because I set up rules that I'm hoping to continue trying to apply this year, although I haven't been off to a very perfect start. I won't be showing covers for these books, and I actually won't be providing much detail because I told myself I wasn't going to do hauls. But I've given myself a limit of only buying 12 books this year, and I hate that I'm going to make this distinction right now, but I think it's necessary. Obviously, when I say buy, I'm talking about books that I paid money for, which is different than books that I acquired. But in January, the first 2019 purchase I made was for Wildcard by Marie Lu. My friend Kat from For the Love of Books was selling it, and I knew that I was eventually going to read the second book anyway, so I purchased it. One of my rules was to not purchase another book till I've read the one that I purchased before. However, I had 99% Mine by Sally Thorne pre-ordered, and that came in the mail recently. Mid-January, I was spontaneously invited to an event at a winery. And I was invited by the Weekend Reader, and the event was a way to have a few drinks of wine while also allowing a neighboring bookstore to get rid of some of their ARCs. So if you bought a glass of wine, you got a ticket, and you were able to go home with an ARC. The day this fell on, it was actually my 10-year anniversary, and because of just circumstances, we didn't have anything planned. And it was like, hey, let's just go. We'll have a couple of glasses of wine. It'll be fun. We'll check it out. From what I understand, it's an annual event. My husband and I each had a glass of wine, and of course he gave me his ticket. So I came home with the ARC for Paperback Crush, and I hate that I don't know the author's name, but I will list all the titles below. The second book I took home was a middle grade book that had something to do with pink hair. I was so prepared for this video. But anyway, those are the books that I ended up adding to my library in January. Honestly, I think that's way better than any month from 2018. I only bought 2 books. Because I promised absolute transparency. I also want to say that this shelf mastery project was always something that I wanted to do for 2019. Even though I started preparing for it at the end of 2018, for example, I took inventory of everything in my library. It was supposed to be a 2019 project. So there weren't any actual bans in place for my 2018. And in December, Book Outlet had a sale. And where I ended up buying 29 books in a final hurrah, and I've been feeling so guilty about it. But like, that was it, that's it. Like, it's 2019, so we're not gonna be doing that this year. Anyway, I truly appreciate you guys for sticking with me and still being here. Before you go, please let me know what your thoughts are on unhauling. Is it something that you do regularly? Have you ever done it before? Do you avoid it at all costs? Let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in my content, like seeing my face, want to win some books, and are looking forward to finding out who wins Last Book Standing Round 2, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.